Check 1, 2. All right. Hey, welcome to Junkyard Live, the very first live stream in 2024. And so today I am going to take this session and I'll be introducing or launching my new single called Summer Storm. And the idea is that everybody who joins this live stream has a chance to check it out a day before release. So tomorrow is the release. It will go out on all the major platforms, Spotify, Apple, and so forth. But today is really just sharing the song early for all you cool guys. So I think the way this is going to work is I'm going to play the song, and then I'm going to talk I'm going to talk about a little bit, and after that I talk a little bit about the inspiration and maybe a little bit of the story behind it. I'm going to talk about some of the guitar playing here, some of the gear over there, if anybody's interested. And yeah, so that's the plan. Now, I have initially thought I'd jam along to a backing track, but technical problems on my end just prohibited me for doing something that is kind of cool and that doesn't have lots of latency on it. So I need to figure that out. So what I thought, I'd record a little video that I show instead. And this video is basically just me playing to the song. And hey, Nick. See, Nick has joined. How's it going? And so that's the plan. That's the plan of record. We listen to the song. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, and then you can ask me any questions if you like. So here we go. I'm going to share the screen now to this video. I'll be playing along here at the same time, so you can have a little bit of a peek as well. Because the video that I've got recorded is basically the cover artwork, which has the best audio, but doesn't have kind of exciting visuals. So I'll be miming in the back, looking really kind of rock and roll and all that. So let's see how that works. Share the video. And here we go. the guitar as it is. Hey! All right. So there we go. Ta-da! That was Summer Storm by moi. And also with a bunch of help from a classical Italian composer called Antonio Vivaldi, which the educated amongst you have already figured out. So the story behind the song really is that it's kind of one of those weird things, right? I was thinking, for my next release, I want a ballad. Yes, and this is what happened. So I wanted a ballad, and I was playing some, in my mind, I was playing back some, it could be like this, could be like that. And then I remember there's this particular melody that I always loved from the Four Seasons by Antonio Vivaldi. And I thought, oh, maybe that'd be a great ballad. And so I'm listening to that, and I'm listening to more, and to the entire concerto. And then I find Summer, right, by Vivaldi. And for those who don't know, the Four Seasons is a series of concerts that Vivaldi did. Each of them is dedicated to one season, hence the Four Seasons, quattro stagioni, for your pizza. And so I was listening to Summer, and it had this massive riff that the violins were playing, because it's depicting kind of summer storm, right? And I thought, man, this is really cool. So I get the music for that, the score, and I look at it and it goes like, yeah, that's cool. It's like in G, it's kind of heavy, and it's fast. So no longer a ballad, obviously. I'm going like, hey, that's pretty cool. And look at it, and the time signature is 3/4 time, which it's great for a waltz. It's great if you want to have like a jazz waltz, or just a regular pampa kind of waltz, but it's not very metal. And in order to make it metal, I thought, hey, let's do what the experts call metric modulation, and take the pulse, and instead of having 3 groups of 4 notes, 4/16 notes, I just do a different subdivision and have 4 groups of 3 notes. So it's now triplets, and I can have the kick drum go taka 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 taka, and I can groove with that, and that's basically where that riff comes from, right? So that's what I'm doing there, and instead of having this 3/4 beat, it now has a 4/4 beat with a subdivision of triplets. So if you're freaked out now what I talked about, don't worry about it. It's all, I just made it more metal, and that's all I did. And then I went through the piece section by section, and I thought, that's cool. Maybe repeat that. The melody is cool. Now with a melody, there's one thing that the violins do, the main melody, right? And then the other violins repeat that. Now, when I'm performing this, I can't play that fast. So what I did in the initial recording, I had a digital delay that was timed to an entire bar, because this phrase is a bar long. And then when I stop here, it repeats it. So I thought, okay, so I play it once, and then there's the delay and the next phrase and so forth. So that's how that came together. So I panned a main guitar to the left, and then the delay guitar to the right. And that works great for that section. And then a little bit later on, there's a bunch of sections that are harmonically quite advanced. I didn't realize how kind of far advanced these guys were at the time. And a lot of times it's melodic minor and harmonic minor mixed up. And on the guitar, for me, that was fairly difficult to kind of play and get my head around, particularly these runs. So originally there was something like down here and then all the fret, but I didn't like that at all. So I use what I like to do. I use open strings and incorporated this. So that made a lot of sense and made it a lot easier to play, because at the end of the day, when I want to go out and perform this live, I want it to be not super challenging, because it's hard enough to just give the energy, and if people throwing tomatoes and shoes at me, I need to duck and cover, and confetti cannon goes off and fireworks here. There's a lot of stuff to think about. So the playing has to be kind of second nature in a way. So that's my thinking. Try to make it, as Einstein once said, make it as simple as possible, but not any simpler. So that's my approach to a lot of the guitar stuff. We can make it a little bit easier and a little bit more, cooler in a way. Then I'll try to do that. So anybody who's studied the original is going to roll their eyes and go like, "Oh, you messed up a masterpiece." Which yeah. So see this song as a tribute or an adaptation or an reinterpretation. It's not a cover, and I'm not pretending to be a classically trained guitar player with a lot of kudos in those realms. I just play rock and roll guitar. So that's it. And there's just one more section, and this is by far my favorite section, which is the halftime. That is just beautiful. And what really gets me is the chord progression, because it starts out like a regular circular fifth kind of, and then repeat, and it goes up to here, and then the seventh chord, and it's just beautiful harmony, and that leads to the next riff. And that goes, and then at the end there's more parts in the original that are kind of just say for another track, and then at the end it's just this kind of stuff, Michael Schenker influenced, shreddy stuff. So that's the story behind that. Hope you kind of enjoyed that. One more thing. Some people may have wondered, how do I get my sound? And what am I using? And the answer is, well, some of this, this stuff here, and there's some modeling stuff there. It really varies. If you listen to the different releases, they're all kind of the same kind of vibe I'm going for, but it's slightly different tones, because I'm using all the tools that I have at my disposal. Is that the word? Disposal? Yeah, whatever. So for this particular one, I used this Marshall JVM 410 into a low box here. For you gear nerds, you understand this terminology. For those who have no idea what it is, this basically acts like a guitar speaker, because tube amps need a guitar speaker so it doesn't, or they don't blow up. And so this loads it safely down. It also has a simulation of a guitar cabinet on there with microphones mic'd up. I can pipe this straight into my audio interface, and it sounds like a recorded guitar amp, as if I had a big, massive 4x12 cap with microphones in front of it. So that, modern technology is great for that, because I couldn't make this kind of record with real stuff without, having the neighbors come over all the time. And so it's the old saying, whenever I listen to Junkyard Rebel, so do my neighbors. That's the kind of thing I'm going with, but not during the recording process, because it's like literally playing the same damn riff 100 times in a row just to get it right. And even then it's not right, because I haven't played it for, months and months on stage, where, songs change, which is the exciting bit. So recordings for me is just like this snapshot in time. Anyway, so I'm using that for get the junk out. I use the JCM 800 studio one. That's a little 20-watt version, not as loud, but quite loud. But that sounds great. The Friedman here is great too. I use it, I think, on Bullet Head maybe. I also have a Line 6 Helix here. I've been a long time user of Line 6 products. That is actually currently piped into the Zoom thing here. So that's where the tones are coming from. And the modeling stuff makes life so much easier. When I play live with my band Redline, we're all on in-ears. This thing, Helix goes straight to the front of house. We have our own mix in our ears. It's great. The front of house guy is happy because there's no spill and all the good stuff. If you play guitar, you kind of understand some of that. And so that's what I've been using for years. In actual fact, now here's a tidbit that you may or may not know. I started as a product specialist for Line 6 about years ago when I was in Germany still as a product specialist for the south of Germany and Austria. So, long history with these guys. And so that is that. And that's all she wrote for this first kind of inaugural stream. And I thank you all for joining and humoring me in this attempt to make it as interesting and entertaining as possible. So also, if you want to let me know how this lands, do you like that format? Is it cool? Is it, does it remind you too much of the lockdown stuff? I mean, we all gotten used to it. So, doing this kind of stuff is basic, it's become part of life, I suppose. I thank you all for tuning in. That was 21 minutes and some change of me rambling with a little bit of music. And just for fun, I'm going to show you the other video that I recorded with me playing, which may be a little bit more engaging. But when I tested it, the streaming quality was really grainy, and it wasn't like, as I would have hoped for it. I think that's almost a sentence. It's good enough a sentence. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to play the video, and after that, I may send you a recording of this. Ha! If you're one of those folks who watch this on replay, this is what you've missed, I think. Anyway, thanks. Be cool. Don't be not cool, or not be don't cool. And here we go with the proper video.